Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. Today it's going to actually be one of the final episodes in this series. You guys might be wondering, well, what the hell do you mean one of the final episodes? Because, I mean, we weren't even close to killing Diablo in the last one. Well, I kind of felt that Diablo 3 doesn't particularly lend itself all that nicely to my usual standard Let's Play format. I mean, I didn't even really like the last 3 episodes that I did all that much, so instead of doing the usual thing that I do with Let's Plays, I decided to go ahead, and for this one I went in a different direction, which, as you guys can tell, this is actually post-commentary, because you guys don't actually listen to the clickety-click-click of me clicking like a madman on the mouse, which was also another big complaint you guys had about the stuff that I was doing. So so anyways, I hadn't actually played Diablo 3 in a while when I recorded this video. It had been a really long time because I just played a whole bunch of episodes and then just didn't play while I was uploading the stuff so that I could try and stay close to the stuff that you guys were watching. Because otherwise I'd be like halfway through Nightmare and you guys would still be watching videos from me in third act normal. But anyways, something that I noticed that apparently Blizzard patched in since last time I had played is that monks actually use their weapons now, and I thought that was a big complaint from monk players. And as you can see, he actually is swinging the axe that I have in the character. Just thought, well, it's pretty cool. It's a neat little addition. As we go through the core of Adria over here, we are now getting to the Heart of Sin, which is where we will face off against Azmodan. I've also had some sound issues in this recording. I don't know exactly what was going on. I had a lot of issues while I was doing this recording for some reason. As a matter of fact, some parts of it I had to redo, you know, like go back, change quest, redo the whole thing, because it just wasn't working out. But yeah, here's Azmodan.
Nephilim fool. When the soul stone is embedded in my flesh, the seven shall be as one within me. I will be the sum of all hells, the prime evil.
The Prime Evil. Well, bring it on, Mr. Prime Evil, as we just lay the beat down straight up. I didn't even change my skills. This lag was really irritating me. This is like the terrible netcode that they have, or at least it's just terrible because I'm in Portugal. Whatever happens to be the case, it was really terrible. Like, as you can see, all of these small little freezes is just internet lag, and I wasn't even uploading, I wasn't doing anything particular. I was just lagging like hell, and it was just being really annoying. Like, I'm actually kind of scared of going hardcore into Nightmare, because it's like, if I'm gonna have these little lag spikes in Nightmare, it's gonna be game over. And yeah, I realize I probably have complained a whole bunch about this, but I'm sorry. Anyways, we're facing off against Azmodan here, the Lord of Sin. He's the final boss in Act 3. And as you can see, there goes my scoundrel. I mean, the main tactic for this boss is not really that hard. I mean, it's just dodge these black pools, just keep dodging them, dodge the incoming fireballs, which I completely failed there. As a matter of fact, went really, really low. Look at that, very, very low. And I was like, oh my god, getting really, really low. Got to be really careful here. You want to take down these demon gates because they pop out demons. You want to continue to kite this laser as well. Now, obviously, however, there are no longer any more of those black puddles. So go ahead, right back and punch the crap out of Azmodan. I didn't really change my build. I would probably have been more efficient if I was using something like Way of the 100 Fists or Fists of Thunder. I don't know exactly which one. Something that would focus more on single target as opposed to the AoE attacks that I tend to use. It's just I really like the build that I'm using. So I'm like, meh, for normal it doesn't really make that much of a difference. I guess that for Nightmare I'll be more careful about that sort of stuff. But for normal it's not really such a big deal. Although I gotta work on dodging those fireballs because they make a ton of damage. And again, the black stuff, and you just want to stay away from that black stuff. Make sure you stay as far away from it as possible. There's tons of damage. Falling down corpses as well does a lot of damage, so you want to make sure that you steer clear of all that stuff. But it's like, Azmodan is pretty much dead. I'm just taking it as cautious as possible to make sure that we don't die to some some fit of arrogance or something like that. So now he's firing off the laser and I'm like, okay, there's no more black puddles, so it's like, it's just time for you to go. Sorry. It's time for you to go, Azmodan. See you later. He thought he was so clever. Hardcore. As he explodes in a puddle of blood.
We've done it! Quickly now, Leah. Trap Azmodan's essence within the Soul Stone.
It's done!
I never dared dream. All evil lies trapped within that stone. Once it is destroyed, the eternal conflict will finally end.
Destroying the stone is no simple matter. There are rituals to consider. We must return to the keep and make our final preparations.
Of course, this was all just a part of Adria's plan, as you can see. Something did not went well in the armory over here as you come to celebrate victory. And something obviously goes wrong when you get up here.
Adria, when did you decide to betray us?
20 years ago, a great and terrible power drew me to Tristram. But Aiden, Leoric's eldest son, defeated that power and sought to contain it within his own flesh.
The Dark Wanderer.
It was Diablo I saw within him, and I pledged myself to his service. Now, at last, his grand design comes to fruition. Dear Leah, Deckard always suspected your true father was Diablo himself. And now, my daughter, you shall serve as his vessel.
So Diablo basically banged Adria like a boss. And then possessed his child. That's freaky.
More than I once was. The 7 evils are now one within me. I am the prime evil. Well done, faithful Adria. Go now, until I call upon you again. Now, at last, to my true goal, the one that has always eluded me. The utter destruction of the high heavens.
And Diablo basically goes on to the high heavens. Tyrael obviously follows, but he's no longer an angel, he's just a human. And we obviously are going to go ahead and follow them as well to the portals of heaven, where Diablo is going to basically beat the living crap out of Imperius, who kind of deserves it, because Imperius is an arrogant little prick, so he kind of deserves getting the crap beaten out of him. And, yeah. Diablo is basically going to crack open the doors of heaven with Imperius' skull, so to speak.
My old enemy. You cannot hide from me, no matter what form you choose to wear. Let your true self be revealed. Diablo.
Imperius gets stabbed.
Take one last look at your shining heaven, Imperius. For soon, nothing of it shall remain but my laughter.
I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the new Diablo model. Nah, doesn't really convince me, in all honesty.
Adria has betrayed us and taken the life of her own daughter. From Leah's body, Diablo is reborn as the prime evil. And he commands all the powers of hell. The high heavens quake under his assault, and the angels are in retreat. The gods forged me for this. I will slay the Lord of Terror, for all gods and men.
And straight you will, Mr. Russian monk. And here we are, in the high heavens. And as soon as we get here, we get another kind of talky scene between Tyrael and Imperius.
Imperius, you cannot mean to face Diablo again. Your wounds are barely healed.
The heavens burn. This is your fault, Tyrael. And you, Nephilim, look below and see what your kind has wrought.
Always so negative, Imperius.
The Diamond Gates have stood since the light first broke over the high heavens. Now they lie in ruins. Imperius is right. I am the cause of this.
Do not doubt yourself, Tyrael. This was Diablo's work. We did everything we could.
Long ago, my brethren and I voted to decide the fate of man. I cast the final vote that spared you from extinction. Now humanity has birthed the prime evil.
Do not fall prey to doubt, Tyrael. You believed in us, and now you must fight with us. Join with me, or give in to despair.
But you don't understand. Hope has been silenced.
What does that mean?
So basically, Tyrael is being kind of he's being kind of a pussy. He's like, oh my god, it's all over. It's like doom and gloom. We're all dead now.
From the destruction I have wrought, it will be the last thing you see. It's got to destroy the Nephilim.
Then Diablo sends a little Zerglin
I
pet.
do not fear you, Nephilim. You'll find only death in this eternal realm.
Aren't y'all scared? Jeez, I'm so scared of this little green little Zerglin. More scared of the server lag that I got as soon as the battle started. So obviously, my spec was pretty much about AoE, so these guys like didn't even stand a chance. Like, whatever. He basically smacked the living crap out of Iskaru, whatever his name is, Iskayu, something like that.
Every moment I delay you, I draw closer to my ultimate victory.
So Diablo's trying to delay us because he wants to go ahead and do his thing at the pinnacle of heaven, whatever. And yeah, he is not going to succeed because we're basically going to beat the living crap out of everyone that we find in heaven. So I was just doing a little bit of exploring here. Now we're going to have a little word with this particular angel.
I am Ethereal, Archangel of Fate. It is my duty to record what is and what will be within the scroll of fate. But you, Nephilim, you are not in the scroll. Your fate is unwritten.
Then I will write my own destiny. Watch all you know burn around you, or aid me now.
Perhaps fate can be changed. Quickly then, Ariel, Archangel of Hope, has been captured by Raganoth, the Lord of Despair.
I also found it pretty cool that the Archangel of Hope gets captured by the Lord of Despair. But it was like, okay. But one thing that actually kind of brought me back to Kingdoms of Amalur in that section is how they say, oh, your fate is unwritten. And I'm like, oh, that seems familiar from Kingdoms of Amalur, where it's always like, oh, you're like this anomaly in fate. Like, nobody can fate weave what your character is supposed to do, what he's supposed to do in the great scheme of things. Nobody really knows. But it's like, okay, I guess it's kind of cool that, like, my fate is the only one that's not written. So as you guys can see, the build that I'm using here is still a very AoE strong build. We got Crippling Wave as our main source of damage, pretty much. I got the rune that just increases damage to 143% weapon damage. We're also using that wind thing that I don't really remember the name, which I have in my right click. And that particular skill, like I've said previous times, I just love the crap out of that skill because it does a lot of AoE damage, and I just love doing AoE damage. So apart from that, we're also using the Mystic Ally, and a lot of you guys have actually said that you felt the Mystic Ally was not that good of a skill. And I have to disagree, because it's like, especially if you're in hardcore, what the Mystic Ally does is it basically gives your enemies an extra target for them to attack. So they're not going to be as focused on you and your companion thing, because they're going to be focusing on your minion as well. So it's like, it's an extra target. So instead of them having 2 targets, they're going to have 3 targets. And I think that in hardcore that can be really useful. Now, granted, in normal, it's not that needed, because normal is not really a big challenge when it comes to difficulty in Diablo 3. But it's still something that I like getting used to the builds that I'm going to be running in higher difficulties, and I think that the Mystic Ally is going to come really in handy. I'm also using Blind because it's like whenever you get locked into a situation where you're just getting your ass handed to you, you can just pop Blind, you get some life back. I mean, you get life back for doing pretty much anything, because I'm using the passive that whenever you use your spirit, you pretty much get life back. As a matter of fact, I'll probably do an episode just on the builds that I'm planning on using for Nightmare and that kind of stuff for the hardcore monk. Yeah, you also do the blind thing, and when you do blind, they can't attack you, so it gives you time to think about what you're going to do. If you want to pop a potion, if you actually want to pop the healing thing that I also don't remember, jeez. Breath of Light? Something of light? I don't know, it's the healing spell that monks get that does basically an AoE heal. And that one I have with the rune that also does AoE damage. Did I do some damage while I'm healing? I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it at that way or if I'm just going to do something different. I'll probably eventually do something different with it. And the other thing that I have is the mantra of healing with the very first rune, because I like the fact that it does a little shield thing to absorb damage and whatnot. In the meantime, we have another mini-boss fight here, I believe, with the Lord of Despair.
You think yourself free from the chains of fate, Nephilim, but all will kneel before Lord Diablo.
Yeah, about that. Don't actually think we're going to be doing any kneeling before Diablo. We are going to basically beat the living crap out of you. As you can see, the animations are looking a lot cooler now that monks actually use the weapons they have equipped. At least I think so. I think they look a lot cooler. I kept on using the Scoundrel as my minion. I just like the Scoundrel overall. He's got a lot of AoE damage to kind of combine with my own AoE damage. So we're just doing tons and tons of AoE damage all the time. And even for single target, it's still a pretty decent amount of damage that he's dealing, as well as I am also dealing a pretty decent amount of damage, even with my AoE attacks. I'm getting a lot of rares, but before you guys think like, oh my god, you're getting a lot of loot and whatever, it's like, just let me tell you, I don't think I showed in the video, but most of the loot that I got was pretty much useless. The only thing I got is like this sword that made like 40 something DPS, and I then added like a ruby on it, so it became like a 50 something DPS weapon. Just probably one of the best pieces of my gear. I'm going to be getting that pretty soon. But we've released Oriel, the Light of Hope.
The only fate is the one we write ourselves.
With my blessing, you can now dispel Diablo's corruption. It hides the rifts which bring his cursed servants to this hallowed place. The rifts must be closed.
So pretty much after...
Diablo has crushed the will of the heavens and driven despair into the hearts of the angels. I have restored hope to them. I have seen no sign of Tyrael in the chaos. I must go on without him and destroy Diablo's hell portals.
So pretty much at this point we went into both the Hell Rifts. I'm just going to show you one of them. I mean, the Hell Rifts are pretty simple and they're pretty much the same thing. It's just there's going to be a bunch of monsters there. Get rid of all the monsters there. At the end there's going to be like a mini-boss. You get rid of the mini-boss. Once you get rid of that particular mini-boss, you get to destroy the thing that keeps on spawning monsters back into heaven. So it's pretty simple task, so to speak. You just gotta go ahead and get rid of these Oculus Rifts, or whatever they're called. And you gotta do this 2 times. The one thing that's annoying is that I think... I don't actually remember because I haven't played my Barbarian in like the longest time, but I'm pretty sure that those guys that are in guarding the Oculus thing, they are pretty tough because they're the Mallet Lords or whatever the hell you call them, and basically when they smack you in the head, excuse me, they really smack you in the head. They smack you upside the head like you're nothing, and they do a whole bunch of damage. So as you can see, we're nearing the point where they're going to show up now. We have a couple of warping horrors here, not really anything too challenging. I mean, at this point, I was just thinking, like, man, it's like, I think level 30 for normal is just like pretty much everything you need. As you can see, his name is Hammer Mash, and just one little swing of him takes almost half of my health, which is pretty significant, but still, they're not that hard. It's just like move in, move out, and once again, you can use your blind, which I didn't really do here. When he's about to strike you, you can use your blind, interrupt him, get a lot of hits in. You can also use your Mystic Ally to kind of tank. You can let the Mystic Ally handle the tanking. But whatever, after we destroy that, pretty much they send us back and they're like, okay, now you gotta destroy another one. And yeah, you're just killing monsters left, right, and center throughout Heaven's Gate. We're not even at Heaven's Gate right now. We're in the second tier of the Gardens of Hope. Bashing the skull open of another boss. Again, it didn't really seem that that challenging normally. And I know that I'm probably gonna get to Nightmare and just die, but it's gonna be like whatever. Whatever's gotta be's gotta be. But as you can see, I actually have a sword now. That sword is actually an angelic sword or whatever. It does holy damage and whatnot. I thought it was kind of appropriate because I'm like, oh, you know, I'm in heaven. I get this holy sword. It's like fighting on this holy war. So yeah. So anyways, at this point, we're actually just getting Tyrael back with us. Tyrael finally got his shit together and he's like, nah, man, I'm ready. Let's go do this. So we go up onto the Crystal Colonnade, which takes us to this other location where there's just... Or is it Izual now? No, now it's Imperius. Imperius is gonna pop up in here and just completely wreck everyone. And then bail out. Because Imperius is just like that. Look at that. Boom! It's like, screw you guys. What's happening?
Your kind does not belong here. If I see you again, you will die.
Didn't that scare you guys? It scared me.
Pay him no mind. This is your fight, Nephilim. Your power is even greater than Tyrael foresaw.
Goddamn right. So as we're getting ready, we get a couple of Shade Stalkers here. Pretty simple, just smack them. Not really anything ridiculously hard or whatever. Then we're going to proceed on to the gateway of the Silver Spire. And here is...
Diablo will corrupt the Crystal Arch high atop the Silver Spire. I must stop him, or heaven will be lost forever. This is our last hope. Tyrael and I will ascend the spire and face the Lord of Terror, no matter what stands in our way.
Yeah, climbing onto the spire and just beating the crap out of the primeval. So here we have apparitions that are going to show up trying to make you feel bad and whatever, and I'm not really sure they achieved that much with these apparitions, but it's like, it's whatever, because I think everyone could pretty much see through them what was going to happen. And now they're going to pop up a couple of bosses here. For starters, you get the Aspect of Terror. These are randomized, so I got the Aspect of Terror, which is going to spawn a lot of other menial little things to just beat the living crap out of them. But you can get Aspects of Terror, you can get Aspects of Malice. There's lots of stuff that you can get there, and they're going to be different characters representing them. Like right here, we have Mira Eamon, which is the wife of the blacksmith from the Act 1, if you guys remember that. And what is this one? It's the Hatred one? No, it's the Aspect of Lies from Belial. And you basically beat the living crap out of it. It's done. Like I said, these aren't really that challenging normal. I mean, most of the game is not really that challenging and normal. I'm just kind of showing you guys the footage of all the stuff that happened here. I'm switching gear in the Scoundrel. I'm just showing you kind of what happened in the video, just for completion's sake more than anything else. And here we go, just beating a couple more people in the Silver Spire. There's 2 levels to the Silver Spire, and somewhere in between we're going to be fighting Izual, which Izual already existed in Diablo 2, and I believe that you even used to farm Izual for... some people used to farm Izual for runes and whatnot in Diablo 2. And here apparently he also gets farmed the crap out of, at least that's what I've been hearing, that people just farm the crap out of Izual and Inferno for items, and I'm just like, okay. As you can see me checking up the skills there, checking up all the stuff that I've got. I believe that I will be switching to the Fire Ally at some point. So just kicking ass here, not even bothering to take names. This section is actually, you got to be careful with the guys that throw down meteors, especially because sometimes you get some of them that are bosses and they throw meteors and then they're desecrators and whatever, and those guys are annoying as hell, so yeah. Now here's a really nice scene, lots of AoE action. This is what I like about Diablo. What I don't like is when you get these lag spikes. I just got a little minor lag spike and another one. These are so terrible when you're trying to play the game in hardcore and it's like, oh, lag spike. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I've actually placed in my passive skills, because I've been getting frozen, and when you get frozen, sometimes you get dangerously low on health. When you get frozen, stunned, feared, whatever you want to call it. So I got the passive that increases your damage reduction by 75% when you're under the effect of stuns or charms or whatever. So, Although I have to once again mention the thing about the animation, because I'm just a sucker for animations. The animations in the monks look so much cooler now that you just don't see them punching everyone. They actually use whatever weapon you put in their hands. I think that's really, really cool. I think that's a very, very nice addition. And apparently monks can also now just wield whatever they want with 2 hands, which didn't used to be possible, if I'm not mistaken. You could wield bow staffs and maybe a thing or 2 more, but not a whole lot. Now apparently you can wield a lot of 2-handed weapons, but it's not something that I care about, because being in hardcore, I'm pretty much always going to have my shield with me, so I don't really care all that much about that stuff. And here we get to the checkpoint. It's going to take us to the Great Span, and this is, I believe, where we will fight Izual. I remember Epic Name Bro did a commentary here that it's like Blizzard was like telling the story as if it was for retards, because Diablo says, look, Tyrael, you're old lieutenant, and then when you get to fight Izual, Izual also says, look, Tyrael, it's me, your old lieutenant. It's like Blizzard feels the need to kind of shove the story in your face. It's like you don't understand what's going on. I mean, I'm pretty sure that most fans of Diablo kind of know who Izual is. There he is once again, Izual, the evil gargoyle-looking dude. There you go, embrace your former lieutenant. How about we just kind of bash your face inside out? Would that work too, Mr. Izual? No? And as you can see there, the frozen stuff being popped open. I don't even care at this point because like I already have the passive that just like, whatever. You freeze me, you're not going to deal any damage, so it doesn't really make a difference. As you can see them trying to kill me, and it gets out healed by my mantra of healing, which I was just like, lol. When I get stunned and crap, you can't even out heal my aura of healing, which is pretty cool. Mantra, I'm sorry, it's not an aura, it's a mantra. Whatever. So I zoomed into the action a little bit as I basically smack Izual's face inside out. Bash! Bashed, son! Get out of the face of the Khan! As we move onward, now I believe onto the Silver Spire level 2, if I'm not mistaken. Bashing some more demons inside the skull, because they deserve it. Oh! At this point I was almost considering, should I do the AoE thing? Should I not do? Just breaking vases, whatever. The AoE win thing. I think I did it here at some point, but it's like, whatever. Just a bridge, just killing people. Bashing skulls. Some people actually wanted me to talk a little bit about the Diablo lore, but it's like, I don't even think that the lore is consistent from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3. There's a lot of stuff that gets weirded out in between, and I'll be honest, I didn't do all that much research into it, because the game didn't really captivate me that much, and as much as it pains me to say it, I've even said it before, I don't really think that Diablo 3 is a legitimate sequel, and a lot of people feel the same way, and I think that is one of the reasons why my videos aren't getting that many views, also because of the fact that my usual Let's Play method doesn't really apply that well to Diablo, which is also why I'm kind of switching things around, and I want to do more videos about Diablo, but definitely not going to be in the Let's Play style, which is why I'm kind of working this this last episode out for you guys, give you guys some closure on the fact that yeah, I did finish normal like I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to die in normal, and I will be proceeding on to Nightmare with this character, but I'm not going to videotape every little thing that I'm going to do in Nightmare. I mean, I'll do episodes every now and then, kind of telling you guys about my progress, or if he died or whatnot, and I'm going to tell you guys about builds that I'm using and stuff that I think people should do in hardcore, but it's like, I'm not going to be doing a massive effort on Diablo, because essentially I don't think that you guys really enjoyed it that much as well, so I want to get back to focusing on, maybe give you guys some more episodes of Dark Souls, not really a Let's Play type of thing, but a couple of more episodes of Dark Souls, about some Dark Souls stuff that I want to talk about, and also I want to talk about, I want to do more New Game Plus. I've been doing a lot of New Game Plus stuff. The more I do of New Game Plus, I realize that New Game Plus is a format that I personally really enjoy. Looks like you guys also really enjoy it, apart from the Let's Plays. So I'm going to try and work it out. Also, some stuff from Dragon's Dogma might be changing. I realize that I'm using a Diablo 3 video to kind of do a little bit of announcements, but it's just like, there's not a whole lot to comment on what's going on. It's basically me just bitch slapping a whole bunch of demons, and there's not a whole lot to say about that. As you can see here, switching up further ahead, we did a lot of exploring in the Silver Spire. I haven't really been dodging champions. I don't think you gotta dodge champions in normal. It's usually pretty simple stuff. I'm not sure how cautious people are in hardcore, because I'm not really following that much Diablo 3 content, because once again, it didn't really captivate me all that much. There is one person that I do follow, and you guys, if you guys are really hardcore into Diablo, and I don't mean hardcore just by the hardcore mode, but if you guys are really hardcore into Diablo, someone that you guys should really check out is probably Rurikhan. He's a guy that I just kind of came up with randomly. I was watching some Diablo 3 stuff and eventually came onto his videos. I'm going to try and put a link in the description box if I do not forget about it. Hopefully I do not forget. Because, I mean, it's kind of pointless of me giving shout-outs to these people, because they're all bigger than me. It's like, I give shout-outs to Epic Name Bro, I give shout-outs to this guy now, Kriparian, and it's like, it almost seems that I'm being an arrogant little prick. It's like, why would someone need a shout-out from me? I mean, I'm the guy that doesn't really get, not even 1/3 of the views these guys are getting, so it's like, kind of pointless. Would be useful the other way around, but it's like, whatever. But I'm going to put a link in the description box below anyways, if you guys want to check out his content. He mostly focuses on his Barbarian. Last stuff I saw, he was working on some hardcore barbarian. He was in Inferno and whatnot. And yeah, guy's crazy. He's just kind of like obsessed by Diablo, obsessed by the mechanics, by farming goblins. It's just insane. So anyways, we get to the Pinnacle of Heaven and we get a little cinematic here.
Nephilim, I see you did not heed my warning. Or perhaps you think yourself strong enough to face me.
I know I am.
Imperius, stop this madness. Diablo is the enemy here, not the Nephilim.
Tyrael, I will deal with you soon enough. I will... What is this? No! Diablo has reached the arch!
Oh, what happened, Imperius?
No. Diablo has begun extinguishing the Crystal Arch. That's why the angels have fallen. If its light should go out forever, we must defeat Diablo before that happens.
And we are the only ones left to do it. Perhaps the loss of your wings was a blessing.
Diablo's vile corruption bars our path. Stand back. Eldruin's light shall clear the way.
Look at the way Tyrael opens doors. You better not invite Tyrael to your house. I believe I've mentioned this before, but this is pretty much how Tyrael opens every single door in the game. It's like, oh, this door's closed. Eldruin will take care of that. Boom! Just opens doors like that.
The gate has been opened, Nephilim. This last trial is yours alone.
I have not often fought with another, but you have been a great ally, Tyrael.
It was an honor, but this is the moment you were made for. This is the hour of mankind's victory.
The hour of mankind's victory. And Tyrael can't help. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And they also like force your companion to kind of stay behind. Like, oh, he's got me. Like, it's like, come on. It's just like if you wanted to make us solo fight Diablo. I mean, you could come up with a decent reason. You didn't have to, like, you know, I don't know, maybe Tyrael could have fallen and broken a leg or something, because it doesn't make any sense that Tyrael doesn't come to fight the primeval. Again, I hate this model for
The seven evils are one within me. I am Legion.
You're a Legion, you're a Diablo with titties. You're a Diablo with tits. It's like, I'm sorry. Now I realize that maybe my female viewers kind of think that maybe it's okay for Diablo to have tits, but me personally, and some people even say, oh yeah, but he came from inside Leah and whatever, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this doesn't look like Diablo. This looks like the alien from Species, if you guys remember that. They definitely took a lot of inspiration from that movie, for sure. I mean, come on. And it's just like, I don't know, I could not like this Diablo model, which just makes it even easier for me just to beat the living crap out of it. It's like, I hate you. I hate the way you look. I hate the way you walk. I hate the way your animations play out. I hate the fact that you have titties. So I'm gonna beat the living crap out of you, Diablo. What do you got to say about that? Are you gonna set the floor on fire? How about I just beat the living crap out of you anyway? Huh? How about that? Oh, stomp?
Enough. Let us see how you fare in my realm of terror.
Oh, the realm of terror.
Only by defeating us can you return to your own realm. But none have ever crawled from the depths of their own terror.
Ooh, the depths of their own terror. So you get to beat the crap out of a shadow clone from yourself, and then you beat the crap out of Diablo's shadowy version. I mean, once again, I did not change from my AoE skills. I just went straight up with AoE skills, because in normal it doesn't really make that much of a difference. I guess that if in Nightmare I'll probably pay more attention to that kind of stuff, but in normal it's just like, whatever. And why does my shadow clone have a cool staff and a gun? I thought my shadow clone would have a shield and sword as well. But I guess not. As we beat the crap out of the shadow of Diablo. which isn't even that hard. In all honesty, this section is pretty simple. And I know it's just normal stuff again, which is why I guess another reason why the videos didn't make it that much interesting is because normal is just like hack and slash. It doesn't even matter the way you do it. Blurp. Erpty derpty derpty. Kill the crap out of Diablo. And down the Shadow Diablo goes, and we go back upstairs to kill the real Diablo, basically. Hey Diablo, what's up? How are your titties hanging?
Must be eradicated.
Eradicate.
All that you have known, all that you have ever loved, shall die along with you, Nephilim.
Ooh. Now he cracks the floor and we just continue the beatdown, pretty much. Just continue beating down Diablo. Beat his ass. Again, another one of those lag spikes because Diablo is casting a new spell. Now picture this lag spike in hell. I would have died because I couldn't do anything while Diablo was charging up the spell. Couldn't dodge, couldn't do anything at all, and then he just blasted the spell right in my face. Since it's normal, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But if it was in hell, like you would blast that thing in my face, I could probably have died. Hey, look at that thing. His attacks also pretty much make him easy. Here's something that really pisses me off about Diablo. The hardest things about Diablo in both Hell and Inferno are not really the bosses. What's hard about them is the random champions, because they get those random cheap combinations. There we go, Diablo is beaten. Once Diablo is beaten, I just like to keep beating on him and just beating on him and beating and beating and beating until I get tired. It's like, what, you're exploding? Don't worry about that, I'll just keep beating on your face. What, you're dead? I'll just keep beating on your face. Just beating on them face. Kicking your titties in. That's what I'm gonna do. So anyways, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed the Diablo 3 playthrough. I know that a lot of you actually didn't, because you guys weren't that passionate about the game. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with the ending cinematic of Diablo 3, where you guys can see where Blizzard kind of got the idea to put the expansion in, because basically we're gonna kick Diablo from heaven, but the Soul Stone is gonna be intact with all the other primevals in it, Diablo himself included, I would assume, because the Soul Stone is still there. So it doesn't make any sense. I mean, for any Diablo fan, I mean anyone that has played the previous Diablo games, you know it's all about the Soul Stones. So why would we throw Diablo down from the heavens with the Soul Stone? You'd assume that at least Tyrael would have knowledge of this, but apparently not. That's pretty much how the game goes. So anyways, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what other content from Diablo you guys would like to watch, and I'll try to provide it every now and then, but really my main focus is going to be Dead Space, Dragon's Dogma, and New Game Plus, because I got so much content for New Game Plus. I'm uploading something right now. So anyways, stay tuned for more. Remember to subscribe if you still haven't. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.
My brethren, I will take my place among you once again. But this time, as a mortal. Since justice has been met this day, I will now stand as wisdom. On behalf of those who risked all to save us. Forevermore, we shall stand together, angels and men, in the light of this glorious new dawn.